Sydney, so nice to meet you on camera. I love meeting somebody on camera for the first time. Nabalungi in Book of Mormon. How's life? How's life over at the Eugene O'Neill, which is actually right across the street from
Yeah.
our office. So I walk by you every day, but it's so nice to finally meet you.
Yes, it's great to meet you and to be here for the first time. It's been incredible. It's been the most crazy first 9 months, coming in during a time where they're having their 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
All of these
Hello,
alumni.
15. It's right here.
Yes, we have so many alumni and original cast members and the writers and everybody kind of coming out and supporting and a million different so cool things that we're doing right now.
Yeah. You've had an incredible few years, this little path to Broadway. I love it. I mean, so I've been stalking your Instagram a little bit, which is great. There's so many great things on your Instagram, but it starts with a photo of your high school graduation. That's literally where your Instagram starts. And where did you graduate from high school?
I went to Cypress Bay High School in Weston, Florida.
Okay, that's basically where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
In Florida, Florida girl. And what did your cap say?
Broadway bound.
I love when people personalize their, and yours said Broadway bound. It said Hart School of Music. So you were going to Hart. So I guess this is just like predestined, right? That of course you're here. How many years later? I mean, when was that?
This was 2021.
Right. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
And it was kind of such an amazing full circle moment too. When I found out I got Book of Mormon,
Yeah.
I had seen it my freshman year of college. It was the first thing I saw when I got to
Wow.
New England, since I was right there in Connecticut. My friend and I won the lottery, and we got on the train that night and got there just in time to go and see it.
Why was that show you definitely wanted to make sure you saw?
I had heard Hello and Spooky Mormon Hell Dream as a kid, and I wasn't super into musical theater yet, but that was kind of my scope of knowledge of it.
Okay.
And I thought those songs were hilarious, and I begged my mom to take me to see it, and she said, "We'll see Wicked." She was like, "Absolutely not, but maybe one day." So the second I was out of the house, I was like, "That's what I'm seeing."
And how does mom feel about you now immersed in this world of, I'm assuming your mom was reacting to the content of Book of
Yes.
Mormon, which is hilarious but outrageous, and Wicked is maybe something you take your daughter to instead of
Right.
Book of Mormon. But how does she feel now that you're living in that world every night?
Oh, she loves it. And it's so funny because now my brother is the same age-ish that I was at that time. And so he's been to see the show a bunch of times, and she's like all for it. She has all the merch. She loves
She's got
Book
the
of Mormon.
merch. She's all in. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the great part about going to school in Connecticut, so you went to Hart School of Music, which is in Hartford, is that you can come to Broadway. So did you do that? Did you make those trips?
Every chance I could. I was also here, just auditioning during college as much as I could, getting a feel for it. I have a lot of family here. My parents are from New York, actually.
Oh, cool.
So it was really nice to come up and visit and maybe see a show when I could.
I love that. So when you saw Book of Mormon, as someone who just arrived to college and had already graduated with Broadway Bound on her head, did you look at that role that won Dickie M. James a Tony Award and say like, that seems like a good part for me?
Yeah, it was so funny because I actually didn't know much other than Hello and Spooky Hell Dream going into it. And I was like, wait a minute now.
Wait, there's something for me.
Right? I was like, I could see myself doing this. I remember leaving that night, my friend and I, we took a picture outside, and I still have it. It's kind of incredible to think about now.
Yeah.
After seeing it, I was like, I really, really want to do this.
Yeah. So Salt Lake City, and we all fell in love with this character when Book of Mormon first opened. And I was actually thinking about it. It's like, I kind of forget that it's such a beautiful role because, when you first think of Book of Mormon, you don't think of her necessarily, but it is such a lovely surprise, I think, for audiences, like it was for you. And she's just has such a beautiful little journey. I mean, it's really such a wonderful role. What do you love about getting to play her every night?
There's so many things. I think Nabalungi is a big part of the heart of Book of Mormon and what I loved so much about it, because it's that wild, outrageous comedy, but there's so much more to it than that. There's so much depth and heart there. And she just brings this earnest willingness to everything she does, and she has this drive to save everyone around her that is so beautiful. And I think it's such an honor to play her, especially in this League of Women who I just like adore looking up to, and then getting to do the 15th anniversary with Nikki and like to watch her do it and get to do the show with her after growing up listening to her in a bunch of things. You know, I just did All Shook Up, and I've been following her career my whole life basically.
How was she?
To do that.
She's the sweetest person imaginable.
The most amazing person. My Naba sister, you know. It was incredible to be welcomed into it like that.
Yeah. Now that you are immersed more into Broadway, do you have your eye on other things you would love to do?
Absolutely. Hadestown is a longtime favorite of mine. I'd love to do Eurydice at some point.
Awesome. Okay, let's get that on the list. I love
that. And I have a lot of time for this, but I would love to do Glinda. Yeah, after Wicked, that's what kind of really got me more into theater when we, you know, pivoted to Wicked. And I was like, wait, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have to learn more about this and see what else is out there. And I fell in love with it.
Cool. I know when you were at Heart, you got very involved in Goodspeed.
Yes.
Right? With East Haddam, beautiful theater. And then they have the Norma Terrace Theater too. And you did a bunch of like new works thing, right?
Yeah.
You got to do a lot of, and you were like an intern there, right? So tell me about that experience.
That was incredible because I really got to experience so many different roles interning there.
Yeah.
And got to grow up there a little bit, you know, and all of the things that I think I took away from that experience led me here. It was such a beautiful mix of doing these new works, but also the history of musical theater and Broadway and this respect for our industry. You know, their costume shop is expansive. And I got to just spend some time going through that and going through all their archives and all of their libraries and things like that, and really understanding the scope of what it is we do and the history of it. So very grateful to them for all of the opportunities there. And I was actually there when I found out I got Book of Mormon.
I know, that's what I wanted to ask you, because you were in All Shook Up.
Yes.
Last summer. You were in the ensemble. Did you cover any of the roles?
I covered Lorraine, the Nicky and James part.
Okay, so that's why you knew her voice from the cast album. And so you're in the ensemble of All Shook Up, and you find out that you get this. So tell me about that. It was like kind of like, hey guys, I know we have a matinee, but I just found out I'm going to Broadway. Like, what was that moment like?
I took a few days actually, and I called my family, and then I just sat with it for a few days because I was just so excited, and I felt like I was just holding this thing for myself first before I
love that.
Shared it with everybody, which was really nice to, I think, just like ground myself first and foremost, but also just like appreciate the moment. It was incredible. It was life-changing, you know, and it was so funny. My audition was a little crazy because I was doing All Shook Up and I was driving into the city on my days off.
That's quite a drive. I've done that drive many times.
Yeah. It's a little crazy. I'd never driven in New York before, and I was staying with my aunt in the Bronx while I was auditioning, and I remember I came into Book of Mormon on a Tuesday, and I had 2 shows the next day on Wednesday, and I got dressed. I only brought one outfit because I was like, there's no way I can stay for the next day, even though that was the day of final callbacks. And so I went in, I did my audition, I had a great time. And one by one, everyone in the room they were like, can you wait out in the hall? And so one by one, everyone in the room, right, they come out and they're like, what do we have to do to get you here to sing for the producers tomorrow? And I was like, well, I have 2 shows. I drove. So, I mean, if we get it done early enough, maybe. So we're all sitting there on our phones, mapping out the routes, trying to see what time
the distance
everyone
and Apple
can come
Maps
in.
And figuring out how long it'll take you to get to East Haddam for a half hour. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was incredible. So we're all sitting there doing that, and everyone's like, okay, we're going to come in at 9 a.m. and see you. And it was so kind and generous of the team everyone came in the next morning. You know, I woke up and I drove into Midtown and parked outside of Ripley Gear. I ran upstairs. I only brought 1 pair of clothes, so I had this bag of donated clothes that didn't fit anymore in my trunk. So I was wearing the craziest outfit ever. I ran upstairs. I was so nervous about driving back and getting these 2 shows done that I was kind of just like, I was locked in. And we did it, and Jen Werner, our resident director, who is amazing and put me into the show, just goes, Sid, this was really worth it. Thank you so much for making the time to do this.
Wow.
And I ran downstairs and I raced back and I made it right in time for a half hour to throw on my costume and do the shows.
And that whole car ride, did you kind of know that maybe you nailed it?
I walked out of the room and I went, well, that was fun. Never gonna happen. It was kind of insane because I think I had just, that helped me in a way because I think I was so calm, but I was so like, oh, well, you know, I was like, I had a great time, but who knows if this will work out at this point. You know, I'm sitting there thinking about these shows. I'm like, if I don't make these shows, they're gonna get me.
Wow. And you just do them. And then how much longer did you find out?
I found out a week later.
Wow.
I was getting ready for the show. And I was packing up my bag and my agent called me and I freaked out. I don't even think I said yes. I freaked out. I went, oh my God, I'm gonna call my mom. And I hung up and I called her and we were crying and it was incredible.
I love it. I love it. And then a few months later, there you are at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. I love it so much. So for other young ladies who have Broadway Bound written on their high school graduation cap, what have you learned about, you obviously got here pretty quickly and you've had a nice little, you also played Timoon, one of my favorite roles. You did that out in Washington State. What would you want those young ladies to know about, you know, how they could do this journey and what you've learned about maybe this industry? And I mean, I know you're new to Broadway, but what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say to come into every situation as a student and to be ready to learn from everyone you meet and every experience that you have, every audition you have, every fail you have, to just be ready to take the lesson from all of it. And to really use that time in school to, if you decide to go to school or training or whatever type of training you do, to really find your routine and find what you need and what your process is. I think one of the really amazing parts of school was the flexibility of my school. It was really awesome that they were like, if you want to take an extra dance class, pop in the back, no one will see you. And so like those days when I could go in and, you know, take an extra ballet class or take that extra jazz class or go in this room and do this self-tape and try and do this thing or ask my friend to help me with this thing while we're doing this and collaborate with other artists as much as you can. Speaking
of dancing, you just remind me of your dancing. There's an amazing photo on your Instagram of you in All Shook Up, mid-air. Maybe you had just found out you got the part because you looked full of so much joy and your hair is even higher. I love it. We're going to show that photo. Everyone needs to follow you on Instagram and go see you in the Broadway blockbuster, The Book of Mormon. 15 plus years. It's going to keep going, but go see it now with Eugene O'Neill. It's so lovely to meet you. I can't wait to see this and what you do next.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.